Hello. Has anyone ever said to you that their car is falling apart? Well, this £100 Nissan Micra literally is. Hang on, I'll show you. Where did I put it? Around here somewhere. Oh, yep. In my hand, I have a fairly large piece of metal that's literally fallen off the car. I didn't touch it. Welcome to a rusty CarSpyTV. So here is the offending piece of metal, and as you can see, it's a reasonably large piece to just randomly fall off your car, and it's very crispy indeed. Every time I touch it, another piece of it snaps off, and what happened is I found it just over there on the driveway, which is exactly where this car had been parked. So I think the thing to do is to crawl around underneath the car and see if we can figure out exactly where this came from. Yeah. Now, my gut feeling, based on where I found this piece of metal, is that it more likely came from the front of the car than the rear. So this is the front near side tyre. There's the mud guard, and oh well, it's a bit crispy here, isn't it? But nonetheless, I can't see a big hole. Let's look further down this way. There's the floor of the car. Well, that looks quite good actually. Let's look down here a little bit more. Well, that exhaust flange there, it looks a bit crusty, but again, I can't see an obvious place where a big chunk of metal fell off it. Yeah. All right, let's have a look down there under the engine. Okay, I think I found where that piece of metal came from. To give you some idea where we're working, this is the near side headlamp. There's the radiator, and if we look down there below the radiator, we can see this metal cross member that runs the width of the front of the car. And then if we go just down here to where I'm poking with a torch, there's a very rusty section with a big hole in it. I'll show you better from underneath. Okay, now it's difficult to get the camera in here, but that's the best angle I can get you. And as you can see at the end of my bradawl here, there's a big hole, which is definitely about the right size and shape for the piece of metal that fell off, and what's left is very flaky as well, so yeah. Oh dear. Not too good, eh? Now, a wise man once said, if you have a problem, such as to pick something at random, a rusty car, don't hide from that problem. Face it, deal with it, get it sorted out. And yeah, that does sound like good advice that I should definitely follow. Anyway, let's ignore that advice and look at something else. So I'm going to replace the engine coolant on this car, and that's for two reasons. First of all, I've been looking through the service history, and there's no record of it being changed. I'm sure it has been changed at some point, but nonetheless, I think it's been a while. Secondly, the coolant itself isn't a particularly nice colour anymore, and although you're not going to see it on camera very well, there are bits and pieces floating around in the expansion tank, so it's not going to do any harm to change it. That does mean I need to figure out two things. Number one, what type of coolant to purchase, and number two, how much. Okay, I've got the owner's manual, and I've gone to the most exciting page, which is capacities and recommended fuel / lubricants. It's a good read. And it says here all kinds of information. We've got the fuel tank capacity, that's 42 litres. We've got engine oil capacity, cooling system, petrol, diesel. This one's a 1 litre petrol, and we need 4 litres. That's including the expansion tank. And it says here we need coolant that is ethylene glycol based. Okay. Ethylene glycol, 4 litres. Right, that's what we need to buy. Okay, well, there's only one shop close to where I live that might sell the engine coolant we need for the beloved £100 Nissan Micra. So let's just pop down and see if they've got any. And we can't be too long because I'm expecting a delivery of something I've been waiting for quite a while, and that's due in about half an hour. So let's just get down there quickly and see what's what. Any cars? No, we're good. Well, I'm back from the shop, but no luck, I'm afraid. They didn't have the engine coolant, but never mind. I have been onto the internet and ordered some, so that should be here sooner rather than later. I will film the process of replacing the engine coolant, so if you haven't already subscribed to CarSpyTV, by all means do so you don't miss out on seeing that. In other news, you may remember in a recent video that I finally gave in and replaced this battery for the Micra. Now, by chance, I stumbled across the invoice for that old battery down there, which the previous owner bought exactly 2 years ago. So this battery didn't actually last very long at all. It was replaced at 147,428 miles. The car has now done, let's have a look at the odometer, about 153,000 miles. So this old battery only lasted about 2 years and 6,000 miles, which doesn't strike me as particularly good. But never mind. Hopefully the new battery will last a lot longer. That's what I'm trying to say. Hopefully the new battery will last a lot longer, and hopefully this car will stop going rusty. So the parcel just turned up, so I made it back from the shop in time. What does it say here? I am made from 100% recycled material. Recycle me, make me into something new. Yeah. How about a new Nissan Micra? Okay, well, I can't replace the coolant, which is a bit of a pain, but nonetheless, I can at least change this dome bulb, which isn't working. Should just be able to pry off this lens, which doesn't seem to want to move at the moment for some reason. Come on, it shouldn't be that hard. Oh, it's determined to fight me today, isn't it? Ah, there we go. Okay. Ah, yes. Now I do have one of those bulbs somewhere. Should just pop out easily enough, which okay. I think I know why the bulb's not working. Have a look at that. It is literally in 2 pieces. So like everything else on this car, it's falling apart. But never mind. Put that down there. And then I shall look in my train box of many bulbs where we have all kinds of bits and pieces. And I know I've got one here. Yeah, there we go. There's a new one in 1 piece. So should just be a case of slide that back into position. Oh, it's coming on already. It's a bit loose in there, isn't it? Doesn't want to stay. Okay, let's just bend that contact back out a bit. Pop it back in there. Oh dear, hang on. Okay, so I think we're winning. Can you see this brass coloured contact here? I initially tried bending it out there at the end of my finger, that direction. That didn't help at all. In fact, it made things worse. So then I just pulled it out a bit at the bottom there, and that's a lot better. You can see it's now working. So let's just get the lens cover back on before anything else breaks. Which way around does it go? Like that. There we go. I've just found this little book among the car's paperwork, and it's really quite interesting. It's a list of every Nissan dealer in Europe from the year 2000, when this car was brand new and not full of holes. And all the dealers are arranged by country. So we've got Germany here, we've got Finland there, and we've got the names, addresses, all the phone numbers. And if we look at the back, look, we've even got maps that show you where the dealers are. So that's quite interesting, isn't it? I wonder how many of these dealers are still going. So there we go. That's not the day I planned. I had hoped to replace the engine coolant, but clearly that's going to have to wait. In the meantime, I can at least console myself with this rather nice pile of rust and, of course, a bulb that's in 2 pieces. I'll see you next time.